Welcome back to. Oh, hold on, that's the wrong microphone. There we go. Welcome back to a brand new live stream on the channel. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Cook, good to see you. Shaw, good to see you. New WhatsApp status, good to see you, my friend. Bean, Ryzen, very good to see you, buddy. D-Clan, Crypto Legend, Silver, Lavar, Benny, ZZ, good to see you, Jason. Easy, Zeus, Brian, good to see you as well, my friend. BB King, walaikum salam. How are you doing today? But what low cap would you buy on RWA Deepin like Peaq? Yeah, so let's go over. Actually, we'll go over some of this macro stuff straight after this. I'll answer your question. What low cap would you buy an RWA or Deepin? So Deepin, we have quite a few different projects. There is a few good low caps, I would say, in the Deepin space. However, for those of you guys that are not aware today, the render just got delisted, or it will be delisted on Coinbase starting the 26th of next month. So in 1 month's time, they will most likely get delisted. They got hit with the ST on kucoin, so they have to pretty much, on Coinbase, so they have to pretty much contact with Coinbase, speak to them, and get that sorted out. But the Deepin sector is heavily relied on render. We don't really have an alternative to render in terms of a narrative leader. So if Deepin is struggling and render is struggling, that is not a good sign for Deepin. But I will go over. I mean, if you're looking at Peaq specifically, you're not going to get many Deepin projects like Peaq. Peaq is like the pinnacle, project for Deepin. But the only problem with Peaq is, and one of the main reasons I've decided not to invest into this is mainly because of the unlocks. Now, the unlocks does not matter in specific scenarios. However, in this current scenario, I do think, with only 6 million trading volume and heavy unlocks on a monthly, I just decided not to invest into this project. It is a phenomenal project, but sometimes phenomenal projects, just won't do well in the short term unless we're in a very bullish market, if the vesting schedule is not up to scratch. So you look at Peaq. Peaq's vesting schedule is, I wouldn't say it's the worst, but all the early investor tokens are pretty much linear unlocks for the next 2 years. So it is quite harsh. And at the same time, you have to keep in mind that these guys are up significant amounts on their investment. So when they get the tokens every day, they're just going to keep dumping. If you're up 10, 20, X on your investment, it only makes sense for you to keep dumping on a regular basis. It's like a consistent cash cow. And that's basically what's been happening with Peaq. You look at the early investors, some of these guys got it at 1 cent, 3 cents, 7 cents. So I can imagine the seed and the pre-seed are below the private round. So maybe 0.08, 0.05, which will put them at around 24x around those regions. So it is it is quite concerning regarding that. Hello, Genius. Bojo, good to see you, bro. What do I think about Space and Time? Will it 10x? Space and Time is a good project. I think this is one of the partners of Alt. So, what's the ticker? I forgot the ticker. Space and T. Is it Space? Is ST something? I don't think if I just type in Space and Time, I'll find it. Let's see. Oh, SXT, that's the one. As a project, I think this is pretty good. Would I buy it off launch now? I would let it consolidate a little bit longer, maybe like another couple of weeks. Then I would look to invest into this. I don't like buying anything off launch. Surprisingly, this one did not pump off launch like most of them do. Like most decent projects, when they launch, they normally pump. This one has not pumped, so just let it consolidate. When the unlocks do start, I think it will most likely dump just like everything else. So let me just have a look at the vesting schedule. From my memories, the vesting schedule for this one was not that bad. So I would let's have a look, bro. Yeah, so investors get their tokens in 1 year and the team gets their token in 1 year. So yeah, I would say this is not a bad investment. Overall, this is not a bad investment because only for the first year. So if you want to get into it It's not a bad time as well, Borja. Not a bad time. This is not a bad project at all. Also, you do hold render. Okay, let me just go on Twitter just to clarify. Hold on one sec. Go on my Twitter. Go on notifications, Coinbase wallet. So is it just okay? So mobile render RBT are being delisted because new versions of these tokens have been released. As a result, the original version of these tokens. Oh, okay. That makes sense. We singularly monitor the assets on exchange. Should they? What the fuck? Render has a new token. Am I tripping? Does Render have a new token? I never knew that. Mobile Render are being delisted because new versions of these tokens are being released. As a result, the new version of these no longer let me out criteria. So, what the fuck? And they are remain render maybe just that would probably make sense. I mean, it doesn't really. So the old one's gonna get replaced with the new one. So what's happening with render then? Is it gonna be dealing? We moved our mobile order books to limit only mode. So limit orders. Too much merchant money occur. Yeah, this is a weird one. What do I think about Natics? I think Natics is a good Deepin project. I've always been a fan of Natics as a project wise, but the only thing that kind of stopped me from investing into Natics was the vesting schedule. So at that time, Deepin is dead. Deepin is still dead now. So I mean, this has pumped recently, but is it going to be sustainable? It's hard to say. Just because I mean, you got to look at it from this. Oh, actually, the early investors. Oh, it's 20 months. So yeah, they're going to be unlocking for quite a while. To be fair, yeah, it's all pump, but you have to look at it from the early investor perspective. They're going to be keep unlocking their tokens, consistently. So if they, every project pumps, but if the pump's not sustainable, then slowly these early investors just chip away, and it'll probably just go back to normal. But as a project, Render is very good. I mean, Natics is a phenomenal project. What about Link AI? I'm not a fan of Link AI. I'm not a fan of it just because obviously it's a low cap and it will definitely pump. But the only reason I don't like this project is because, is it this one? Yeah. Link AI. Oh, okay. I've not looked into this one actually. No. Yeah, I've not looked into this one. I was thinking of the wrong one. What's kucoin? I mean, what's Bitcoin at? Bitcoin's at 110. Okay. Someone said that Bitcoin had a bearish divergence. Let's have a look. BTC seems to be in a difficult spot. Bearish divergence. Do you expect a correction end of May, beginning of July, or June? You mean? Do you expect us to hit a new all-time high? We already hit a new all-time high. We already hit a new all-time high. Look, 111 or 112ish. So it's possible, but my thesis was that when it was around like 90k-ish, I said that we're gonna go put in a new all-time high, then have a correction. And we went as high as like 112. So if we get a correction now, I would not be surprised. But there is still liquidity. Maybe to the 100k region. I think that's a possibility. Maybe just maybe a wick below. So it is definitely possible. But the divergence does not mean Bitcoin is going to dump instantly. They brought it down yesterday just to mark it back up. So you can always dump on the 4-hour chart or the 1-hour chart. But you have to think, right? At some point, it can have a small correction. The RSI or whatever could reset, and then we can start moving back up. So it all depends. But the ultimate scenario is we are more bullish than bearish. So any correction should more or less be a buying opportunity. So even if there is a correction, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be one of those guys that tries to time lows and all these weird stuff, because 9 times out of 10 you're not going to get them. All the bears down here when it was at the 74k region wanted 60k and 50k region. This is what happens, and this is how people get trapped, and then they're forced to buy up here. And I said this. I said, don't be one of those guys. When we're down here, when everyone was fucking bearish and everyone was calling is the end of the cycle, I said, accumulate. Do not be one of those guys when you see a double bottom form, and then be one of those guys that randomly come and say we're going 60k or whatever. Because the reality is, if we broke below this region over here, it would have been a bear market. So anyone who was calling for this was pretty much stupid. So, but the ultimate goal is we are bullish. Any dip, this is the Trump market. You can't predict dips anymore. The market can go up because Trump said something, and the market can go down because Trump has said something. That's all it is. So it's like trying to predict this type of stuff it's not even it's not worth it. It's like some people will be like, oh, it's gonna go up, and then Trump come and post fucking tariffs on some random country. Then the market is just gonna correct and give all the gains back. So it's making predictions in this current environment is so difficult because it all depends on Trump. If you are an insider of Trump, you're making plenty of money. You can go short, go long. But if you're not, then the best thing you can only do, in my opinion, just continue to DCA on dips. Fantastic, good to see you, bro. I wouldn't sell render, no. I wouldn't sell it. I don't think it's worth selling. Just keep it. Imagine if Coinbase delists render and AITECs in June and list. That would be massive. That would actually be massive. AITECH does have an exchange listing lined up for the next, for Q2. So Q2 is wrapping up. AITECH is just getting started. So here's what's to come in the upcoming weeks. Bridge to Solana, data center phase 1. So like I said, the data center is finished. They got the machines in. Now they're going to actually start, the servers. So the NVIDIA server is going to go live. They're going to get another exchange listing. And they just got one yesterday, Bitfinex. But I think this one is going to be a tier 1. And most likely it will be Binance because there's no way your volume increases the way that these guys' volume increased. And, without it being a tier 1. It's just not, there's no way. The volume for like a whole year, was, let's go on the market. Actually, can you go volume? Yes, the volume was for the whole of 2024. The volume was capped around 4 to like 7 million, 10 million, whatever. Now, when it's down here, the volume magically, goes up to 20 million. I think this is definitely a tier 1 accumulating. So most likely it will be Binance, in my opinion. So a Binance listing for AITECH is not far off, in my opinion. So and they have, and the compute marketplace is going to go live as well. So people can now start renting out GPUs. If you guys look at IONET, and how much money they've been earning recently is from the GPUs. It's just stupid amounts of money every single month. And it just shows how much demand there is for GPUs. And that's why I'm so bullish on other projects. IONET is very solid. AFA is solid, in the GPU space. AITECH is going to do very well. Alt will do very well when their compute is out because there's a lot of demand for it and they can generate a lot of revenue from these from their products. So something to look forward to as well. OTK got listed on Mexi, so I think this is a very good move from the OTK team. I mean, just being attached to one listing or one exchange and they hit you with an ST sign is always a red flag. And these guys are now expanded to Mexi. Next, they will be on Gate, just because I told you guys many times, for the last year and a half, that these guys are partnered with Mexi. Mexi is a private investor in OTK. So because they are, Mexi was shilling OTK quite a decent amount on the listing, and OTK will obviously do the same thing back. And then Gate is next on the list. So Gate is also a private investor in OTK. So at some point they will have the Gate listing ready as well, and that's 3 exchanges. For a project that's so low in market cap, and they have a new game and partnership dropping this week as well. So $2.6 million in market cap is really low for a project this good. At the peak, it reached 3. But like I said, they have a new game, which means every single game they drop is a new partnership with one of the top Solana meme coins. So they're gonna have a partnership with a Solana meme coin, followed up with a game. So that's very positive. I'll go over some of the macro bullish announcements that came out today, and you guys are going to be very, very surprised. We will pump or we'll dump in the short term. In the short term, it's hard to say. I mean, look, the market opens, or the market, it's Tuesday, isn't it? Our market's already opened. I think we're likely to go higher in the short term and then dump. That's what I think. I think we're likely to go higher. Let me just look at the Bitcoin chart. On the daily, yeah, so you look at the MACD is flipping a little bit bearish. Money flow is still positive, which is good. Overall, Could it come down and retest this over here? It's definitely possible. We had this golden cross, and then after the golden cross, you get the dump. It's trying to mark back up. It looks like it's taken half of this vector candle. Short term, let me think. Let me think of the macros actually, because it's hard. I don't know actually. It's hard to say. I'll be honest with you. It's very hard. What the fuck is this? It's very hard to say because, like I said, it's a Trump market. If Trump don't speak, then the market won't go down. It's all depending on. And I've said this a million times. You guys have to listen to this very carefully. If there is no negative news, the market will always naturally go higher because it gets leveraged higher. And because of the consistent money printing, markets generally just trend higher unless there's a reason not to. So if there is no reason to not go higher, the market will go higher. And at the moment, there's no negative news to say that we will go low in the short term, unless, like I said, Trump opens his mouth, which no one can really predict. So I don't even know why people even try to predict that type of stuff. What do I think about AR and AO? I do like AO as like a super computing gaming coin. So I think AO is like it's like AI gaming, and I think when that narrative comes around, I think AO will do very well. I am a fan of that project. They're looking to influence to partner with, so I consistently thought of you. If you're interested, let me know. I don't look. If I like the project, my friend, I will do it. But if I don't like the project, then I don't really take paid promotions, to be honest. How do I feel about Alien Base? I think it's worth some money in there. I think once the Aerodome and the base ecosystem does well, which it will at some point this year, is one of those where you put money in there and forget about it until the narrative kind of wakes up. It's one of those ones. I think the best play now is just to buy big caps, finish the low caps now. I think buy the low caps now and get the high caps as well. Get the low caps and the high caps. That's what I would do. The thing is, like, low caps, even if BTC goes down, they're not going to get affected as much. Even if some low caps, even if BTC is going down, they can go up on a bullish news because it doesn't need a lot of money to push it. Just like Munity, when the market was like in a stagnant state, Munity went on doing like a 3.5x in like the space of a day because of a bullish news. So it does not rely on the markets. Low caps do not. Like very small caps don't rely on the markets. They just rely on community and bullish news. Good to see you, my friend. So can I put 5 to 6 digits on alt for? You can, but I would never ever be a one coin maxi, my friend, ever. If Sui Hack did not teach you not to be a low cap maxi, then I don't know what could. Sui, if you held any Solana or any DEX or whatever on Sui, on CETUS or whatever, all of the liquidity got drained. Meaning, if you had 100K in there and you want to put 5-6 figures in there, right? It's 5-6 digits. Guess what happened? You shit would have lost 80% of your investment. So never ever be a one coin maxi unless it's like Solana. I mean, not Solana, sorry, BTC or ETH. And even those are the ones that I would, only put. If I was going to be a one coin maxi, it would only be BTC and ETH. I would never ever put in an altcoin. Especially if you don't need the money, then go for it, take the risk. But the reality is everyone needs 5 or 6 digits. So never ever be a one coin maxi. As good as alt is, just don't ever be a maxi, bro. Like, it's just, there's no point. You just don't know what could happen with alt the next week, 2 weeks, and you're going to be stressing when something else happened to it. So, I mean, for example, alt today or yesterday got hit with the ST on KuCoin. So, just stuff like that. I mean, it's not really going to affect the price too much just because no one really uses KuCoin as much for alt. Like, look at the volumes, like fucking 13K, 37K volume. So no one really uses it too much. Most of the volumes are BitGet, Gate, and Mexi. A bit more, it's a bit shit as well. BitGet is shit as well. So, but I think they will get that sorted. The SD sign, I have raised it to the team, so they are aware of it. I'm sure they're already aware of it anyways. So they will get it sorted. They'll probably get a trading bot, just like OTK did. Alt has plenty of facilities to pay for, for whatever KuCoin asks for. What about Lineon? Are they better than alt? Nilion is good, but they're in two different narratives. You can't really compare Nilion to Alt. Alt is storage, AI, data hub, and Deepin, whereas Nilion is different. Nilion is more like AI. I mean, the one thing I don't like about Nilion is the unlimited supply. This is what the fuck is the point of holding the coin? What's the point of holding a coin, that has unlimited supply? I don't like doing stuff like that, bro. Like, this is good maybe to hold one cycle, but past that it's not going to be worth because the dilution is going to kill it. Yeah, so this is more like Deepin compute. Or has not had his compute yet. It's more AI, data hub, Deepin with the nodes, and then AI agents and storage obviously as well. But I mean, just bro, like, why would you invest into something like this brand new? Like, it's a very good project. This is 84 million, so it's already like 3 times higher than Alt, and the FDV is 400 million. So that's gonna have to come into circulation at some point. But I think this has better exchanges as well. Yeah, there's better exchanges. But I do like Nilion. I've been following them for a very long time. But it's just one of those, like, unless I have not looked at the vesting schedule, if the vesting is good. QT ending prediction. QT ending. I think it will end within the next 4 months, in my opinion. Just because they need more liquidity in the system, and the only way to do that, when the Fed says they have the tools to provide liquidity, I think that is QT ending. Buzz, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? I'm doing fine, my friend. How you doing? Thoughts on FHE, quantum resistant narrative, major backers already in Binance Alpha, great listings, Docs team. I have looked into it and it does look pretty good. It does look pretty good. I think it's a good project, yeah. Look, the thing is like, you get these very strong fundamental projects, and the reason no one really talks about them is simply because most people, when I say retail, is more, they're on gambling mode, which means they're mostly in meme coins like Degen, Solana agents. That's what they're in at the moment. But they're in the trenches. That's not going to last forever. That's not going to be the same forever. Trenches will die out and something else will take over. When Ethereum is pumping loads, people are going to go back to utility. And if you look at the Ethereum BTC chart today, it broke out that phase, which is very positive. Okay, it was in this consistent downtrend and it broke out. So it rallied, came down, and then broke out this trend over here. That's good. So what we need now is a retest, and then we can just keep going higher. And as Ethereum outperforms BTC, then that's how you get closer and closer to Altseason. And you look at Ethereum chart itself, even that's looking very positive. You look at Ethereum on the weekly chart, right? So he's already retested the bull market support by 2 times and then went higher. Now, all BTC needs to do, all Ethereum needs to do is clear the 200-day SMA and the 50-day moving average. And guess what? You're in a bullish phase for Ethereum. So all Ethereum needs to do now is clear 2.7K, which is already at 2.7. And this is let's say when it gets to 2.8, that's a clear indication that Ethereum is in a bullish phase. So look at what's it called? Look at BTC. BTC is doing really well. It's actually past its all-time highs. Very likely, if you go higher, then we're gonna most likely it will move. Everything will happen quick. And let's go into the macros now, right? We'll go into the macros, and I'll tell you why we're very bullish from the macro side. So this story right here, global bonds rally as Japan looks to stabilize its debt market. And what this means is, to put it in the simplest form, is very simple, right? All it means is Japan is less likely now to raise their interest rates. And the reason is because if you look at the Japanese yield, they keep going higher and higher. And if they increase their interest rates, no one's going to purchase their bonds. It's only going to get worse. People are going to sell their bonds and go elsewhere. The reason people used to go in the Japanese, it used to be a safe haven, but at the moment their debt to GDP ratio is really bad. And it's what these guys have been doing, what the Japanese has been doing recently. Let me just show you guys the yield, right? Japan 10-year Japanese government. Hold on, let's go on also. Japanese government 10-year bond, right? So let's go with the 10-year bond. What these guys were doing was there was, down when the ASI was going higher. It's like imagine I'm the salesman for the Japanese bond market. I come to you and I tell you, buy my bond. And I'm sending you 100 bonds, and I'm just forcing you. I'm just, I'm basically being desperate. I'm coming to you and I'm saying, buy my bond, and then you as an investor is going to be like, hold up, this guy is sounding a bit too desperate. Something's not right. And then you see behind me, 1,000 more bonds on offer in the truck coming in the truck. That's gonna make investors think, okay, hold on. If this guy is selling me 100 now and there's thousands more coming, then it's very likely that the price is going to continue to go higher. And guess what? I can get higher yield on my bond. So then this is why no one has been buying the bonds, and that's why it's been going higher. And this is what the story is. They've basically calmed down now. They're not selling their bonds at a desperate rate. And because of that, their bond market has, kind of stabilized now. You guys can see it has come down on the daily on this news, which is good. Because what this means is now people are going to go into the carry trade. And what I mean by that is they're going to borrow the yen, they're going to go into the dollar, and they're going to, put their money to work in the stock market. So if the stock market goes higher, by definition, BTC should also go higher. This is why we're seeing a bounce in the dollar today because of this news. If you look at Nasdaq, where is Nasdaq? Nasdaq is on the verge of putting in a new all-time high. Where is the news? Hold on. If Nvidia, which the earning comes out tomorrow, if Nvidia, surprises all investors on a bullish Q1 earnings, then guess what's going to happen to the Nasdaq is going to put in a new all-time high. So, this is where the sentiment shifts in investments for like the big money players. If the Japanese is not going to raise their rates in the short to medium term, then what that implies to big investors is they can start to get a little bit more risk on. If you look at the money markets, right, it's at near the all-time highs. There's almost $7 trillion sitting in cash pile in these money markets, like the T-bills and all these other shits, because people are uncertain. When every time there's uncertainty in the market, people run to the money markets because it's the most liquid market in the world. There's 7-point-something trillion sitting in this market with plenty of liquidity. So this is where people run to as one of the safe havens. Gold is another one. But you look at gold keeps going down. It's down 1% today. So this is what is telling you that people are starting to get a little bit more risk on. And all this money that's sitting in this money markets is not going to stay here forever. Because what will happen is at some point, when investors start to realize that there's no short-term risks involved, they're going to move this money into the stock market, into BTC, into all these other assets. And that's how you get liquidity coming back into the markets. And that is how you get our Altseason and all these other stuff, because that $7-something trillion is this number. I don't know how accurate it is, but $7 trillion could enter the market, even if 2, 3, 4 trillion enters. When people get a little bit more risk on, that is enough for a blow off top and an Altseason. So this is what's been unfolding today, and this is why I said on the macro side we are very bullish, because the Japanese is less likely to increase the interest rates, because they're, if you listen to the head of the bank, Uda, whatever his name is, he said that they're not concerned too much in terms of the inflation, because their short-term interest rates is below 0%, so it's like minus 0.5%. Unless that goes to 2%, they're not too concerned about the inflation rate. The only thing they're concerned about is the food inflation, which could go up in the short term, but they're more worried about their short-term bonds because they have to stabilize that. If you look at the Japanese bonds, they've been going up, the short term and the long end, and that's not good for the country with an over 200% debt to GDP ratio. But another good sign was, I think it was Moody's, that the same one that said America is financially not stable. They said that Japanese is stable, and that's what kind of caused the Japanese bonds to actually get bought up again, and that's why we're kind of dumping today. So we are very bullish on the macro side on this news alone, because we're not going to get a carry trade for the next maybe 4 or 5 months, because they're not too concerned about the inflation rates, because it's just above. Their goal is 2%, but it's like 2.8, 2.9, so it's not that bad. Look at the US went to like 4-5% inflation. Their goal was 2%. So they're going to have to go through it at some point, but in the short term, they're not going to increase the interest rates while the yields are so high, because that only makes it worse. So this is a positive outlook. And like I said, when people look at this and they look at there's no short-term risk, and you look at the money market sitting at $7 trillion, and this is all cash pile, people will then start to take money out of this and start to put in the stock market, BTC. No, I don't know about, not obviously not altcoins, but if BTC is going up, more retail come into crypto, and therefore our altcoins go up as well. So this is a very positive news that came out today, and overall very bullish. So that's on the macro side. The economy on the data wise not looking too bad. So but the thing is, if the Fed does not start to cut rates, and people don't transact on the dollar, the Fed will have to the Fed will get nervous at some point, and then when they do understand that people are not transacting on the dollar, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to start cutting rates at a lot faster rate, and this is why the market today went up on opens. This is why the Nasdaq went up, green candle on the Nasdaq. This is why BTC went up, green candle on BTC, and this is why the stock market went up, because what they're doing is they're predicting a rate cut from the Fed, and they're going to cut more aggressively than people think, because the reality is most people for the last 2 to 3 months has been trading in the Eurozone and the Japanese markets. They haven't been going to the dollar. And because of that, the Fed will eventually have to step in, cut interest rates, and bring some more activity into the dollar. Because if the rates are high, people are not going to go into the dollar. They're not going to get dollars. They go to yen because their interest rates are still low, lower than the US. Eurozone, they keep cutting their interest rates. So that's why people keep going there. Eventually, the Fed will have to wake up, and they will eventually have to cut interest rates. And I think they'll do it in a lot faster rate than people think, because the Fed is always late. You got to keep that in mind. I want to invest 15K USDT. Is it better to invest in this? I want 3x. How many coins should I invest in? If you got 15K and you only want a 3x, well, you can just buy a bunch of high caps and they'll do a 3x. It's not. Shit, hold on. Okay, never mind. I thought my mic wasn't working or something. If you want to invest 15K, the best thing to do, in my opinion, my friend, is to go into AI and go into RWA. That is the two sectors I think will do phenomenally well. And I think that those two are the best, most secure sectors in the crypto space as an altcoin investor to make money. So get into, I'll go over some of the projects. So ATR today is come down a decent amount. I did not want to show this at the top, because the reality is you don't want to be buying when it's up here. You don't want to be buying when it's up here. You want to be buying after it's had a decent correction. So from the top to bottom, it's probably like around 40, 50, 60% correction. So you want to be DCAing now in these regions. See, there's a little bit of support in this region right here, 17, 18, 19 region. So you want to be DCAing right now. You don't want to be buying up here. So if you don't have this project and you miss this initial pump down here, which this is when I was telling you guys to buy, and went up almost on the 3x, came back down again, down almost 50% from the top, then it's not a bad time to maybe get an initial positioning. So this is one good RWA project. Bricken is another phenomenal RWA project. They TVL just grew. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. Where did I put it? So their TVL now has increased. So it's the number one TVL on the BNB chain, number 8 on the base, and 29th across all global RWA protocols. So their TVL has increased significantly. That's very positive, which means that people are tokenizing on their platform, and that's what we want. So this is a very good update. All just got listed on Auto GDPs. I don't know, they must have tagged the wrong person, but all got listed on one of the top fours right here. So Auto GDP is like one of those big websites. So Alt's on here, right? Alt's on here. Vanna, Ocean Protocols on here. They're very good as well with the data. Vanna, this is the one that's backed by CZ and Binance. That's on here as well. And also the last one is Sahara AI. This is another good project. So this is good developments for all as well. It means that they're getting some sort of marketing and their product, clearly works. And that's why they're on here. Nuclei, their testnet is out now. So the Helix testnet is out. And once the testnet is successful and the mainnet is out, guess what's going to happen? This is going to be a fully complete project. And I think once the product is out, they're going to be generating some very good money. And I think it will overall do very well. I mean, Nye sitting at the market cap is sitting at, has been doing extraordinarily well recently. He's up 8% today. And he's been holding the same region for a while now. From like the 17th of May all the way to 25th, while the market was somewhat bearish, is how this exact same region, which means the bottom is more or less in for this project. So if you guys want a DCA, wait for it to have a low call off and then get a position in this project as well. This is another phenomenal project sitting at very low market cap, 12 million only. This is such a good project for the market cap, is that? For now, we must fear on any kind of crystal ball. But yeah, I do agree with you. But the only thing you should do is if you get dumb, just DCA. It's like you can't really predict anything. I've done predictions. I used to do predictions all the time. But this year, because it's just a Trump market, it's pointless to do predictions. You're just going to make yourself look like a retard if you do too much predictions. That's what I think. If you make a video every day saying Bitcoin is going to go up or down, you have a 50-50 chance which way it's going to go. And if you're making predictions every day, the reality is half of the people think you're right if you get it right, and in the next video you'll get it wrong, and then people will call you a retard. I don't really see the point. But right now, my hair is fucking bearish. If you guys watched my last live stream, you'll know why my hair is bearish. I went to a new barber, and this fucking barber pushed my sides over here back like one finger, like my whole finger. That's how much she pushed it back, the width of my finger. So my hair is bearish right now. That's why I'm wearing the cap. I think so for a trade. Yes, that's what I did. I put some money in for a trade. Yeah, Palm. Look, Palm is not a bad project. It's just that, and they've rebranded their everything. But I just don't like this project. I mean, just look at the volume. You look at something like this, and then you look at the market cap, and you just think it's just a massive red flag. Now, clearly, these guys do not run any bots, because any project that runs bots on the trading volume will most likely have some sort of decent volume. But the only thing is, these guys just never done anything past the initial pump. They haven't got any new exchange listings. They've just fucking updated the shitty logo, but that's about it. I've always said this project is ass, and it's proven to be ass. It hasn't done nothing, no new exchange listings. But like I said, if they do their marketing well in the midst, and then they do get a couple more exchange listings, they can still do okay on the back of Alex Becker. Alex Becker coins normally pump, but is one of those projects, and this is something that I genuinely hate, is when a project was something else then expanded to something else after a narrative. It's like if you was an AI agent, but now you've expanded to AI agents, you're just catching narratives. You're not a legit project. All you're doing is jumping on the bandwagon of a narrative that don't well. So this was never, had nothing to do with AI agents before. But now they've, multi-chain DeFi AI agents, whatever. The reality is you've just expanded to there now. Your products are not going to be as good as the ones that's been working on it for years. And, it's just to catch the hype. And I don't like projects like this. So this is one of the reasons I've never, ever been a fan of this project. Just because their product was asked before, now they're expanding into a whole new sector that they had nothing to do with. Look, they're even going into fucking RWAs now. So they're just adding any single buzzword to pretty much catch any narrative that comes out. So, I tend to stay away from projects like this because these are the ones that normally randomly work. Sal, good to see you, buddy. Let's get to my likes, to be fair, my lives. Sorry, normally do genuinely get about 200 likes. So I'm very thankful for that, for the community. My C is an honorable mention list, not in the best gems. Yeah, look, I don't really update this as much, but I hold a lot of C. I even hold a lot of this, but does not mean everything's just gonna go in this best gems. It doesn't really matter too much. I mean, I hold a lot of C, probably more than a lot of some other projects over here. And I hold a lot of, not a lot, but I hold a little bit of Immunity, a little bit of Lightlink, a little bit of Chirply, a little bit of Sniff. I don't even hold Carrot, but it's on there. I hold LogX, I hold a little bit of SKR, like a couple hundred. I hold some Mavia. Well, actually no, I don't have Mavia. But C is, it could easily get added on here. I mean, I'll add it on here. It makes no difference for me. I hold a big bag of C, but I think it'll do very well, especially with their new update. I need to update all of this. I have not updated this in such a long time, but honestly, I don't even show this page too much, as much, because I don't really show my private group either anymore. So there's no point. Can Arweave recover? Yes, it can. Arweave will recover because storage will always be needed in crypto, but storage obviously is not going to be a massive narrative like it was in the previous cycle. But storage will always be needed in crypto. So even if the project's not doing that well, they're being used by a bunch of different projects, maybe some institutions as well, because storage, everyone needs storage. So that's why I think Arweave will recover. Yes, it's been doing fairly well, and I wouldn't say it's doing the best, but it's doing okay. Almost done a 2x. I think it will. Yeah, stacking prop base and alt. I think that's a phenomenal move. Stuff like little setbacks in the moment, like or is with a KuCoin ST sign, it could be a little bit of a sentiment down in the short term, but in a couple of months, no one's gonna give a shit or remember. Just like OTK, when he got that fucking ST sign, everyone was bearish, blah 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 in the short term, and then now everyone's bullish on it again. It's just short term sentiment. That's it. But even though it got hit with the ST sign, nothing. The alt's price didn't do shit. And nothing really happened. And they are getting very close to the 80K. And look, the price hasn't done nothing. Like no one gives a shit because no one really uses it to trade on KuCoin. That's the thing. But I do have the AMA with Alt this week. It was supposed to be today, but the guy had something come up. So I've told him to hit me up when you're available. So it will be sometime this week. I've got a list of solid questions for them. Mostly regarding the token, listings, marketing, and all the stuff that the community wants to hear. The other AMAs, because Bricken does good marketing, Sensei does good marketing, so I don't really need to ask them on marketing, whereas has everything else apart from marketing. So I will be talking directly about marketing with them, talking about maybe getting a few more influencers. They have this one guy, he has like 4 million followers. So if you can get like 4 or 5 of those guys, like I forgot the guys, I think it's Sky Wee or some shit on Twitter. He has like 4 million followers worldwide, and he's one of the KOLs for Binance. So someone like that, if you can get like 3, 4 of those guys on your ambassador program or KOL, you could all will do very well, because that's a lot of following, a lot of people. That actually keeps, that's aware of this project, because right now most people do not know what this is. When we showed this to House of Crypto, he did not know what the fuck this even was. He never heard of it ever in his life. That's how unnoticed it is. And there's a positives and negatives to that. The negative is there's no marketing obviously clearly being done, but the positive is that you're early in these projects. You're ahead of the curve. When you find a good project, when no one else is talking about it, you're already early, and when everyone starts talking about it, you're making the most money. So that's the positive. But the negative is obviously they don't do as much marketing as they think they do. They do marketing in the sense that they go on Twitter spaces, they do a bunch of marketing on articles and stuff. But the reality is the crypto degens do not look at articles. They don't go on Forbes, they don't go on all these fucking this website, wherever the fuck that is. They auto GDP. They don't go to these. They're more for like projects to partner, partnerships and maybe exchanges or whatever. But for the degens, they don't go on these websites. And that's what I need to make very clear for the alt guy, one of the co-founders, that these type of marketing does not, most people in crypto, the degens, they don't care about these type of markets. They're not even aware of this. If I did not show this, and you guys didn't show this on your Twitter space, most people that already follow this project would have never known this existed. So yeah, I don't really see the point of it. Thoughts on this shit? What the fuck is this? Let's have a look, guys. I've never heard of this. What the fuck is that FDV2 market cap, bro? Damn. Volume's good though. Volume's really good. Agents enabling user-centric markets. Yeah, that's bullish. Giza infrastructure, autonomous financial market. So this is like the money market shit on Ethereum. Okay. So their volume is really good. They must be running a lot of trading bots. Okay, it's a Docs team. Former head of products at Johnson & Johnson, Sony. Okay, that's bullish. Former head of ML engineer at Adidas as well. What the fuck? These guys have a solid team. This looks like a good project, bro. Let me look at the vesting schedule. 1 sec. Good shout, good shout. This is one of the better projects I've seen on one of these live streams. Oh shit. Okay, so these guys are going to be unlocking every day for the next 3 years. So the vesting is fucking awful, bro. Damn. 7 million. Let's see how much it will be by the end of the year. So linear unlocks, right? By November, December, it'll be 21. So that's 3x dilution, damn near. Yeah, I would stay away from it just from the dilution wise. It's just not worth. Well, let me see what price they got in actually. Oh yeah, bro, this is not worth, bro. You look at the ICOs, if they're up 152%, that means the early investors, the see the privates, they're up huge amounts. So I would stay away from this. Came out, had his initial pump, it most likely will fade away for the rest of the year. But it looks like a very good project though overall. 100% agree. 100% agree. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Fame AI, bro. Like these projects come out during the narrative and they do well because people just buy anything that has AI agents into it. But it is very niche. But bro, this looks like I don't know about this one, bro. This will get pumped on the back of the influencers that shit it. But as a project, it's not really that good, bro. To be honest. Like if you try this, I guarantee you it looks ass compared to what they show. It's quite niche. I think if we get another AI pump, this will definitely pump because it's low cap, low liquidity, does not take a lot of money to pump. It's one of those where you just chuck a little bit of money in and forget about it, and it could do well just because it's a bit niche and unique. I would not be surprised if he does because he's always gonna come up with some new fucking excuse, bro. His initial excuse was inflation is running high, and then inflation came down. He changed it. Unemployment is too strong, and that's why he's running with now. Unemployment is too strong. What the fuck do you mean unemployment is too strong? That's good that unemployment is strong. So everyone at 55% of it is just me. I think it's just you, my friend. I'm in profits, good profits. You must have bought a little bit on the higher side. There's going to be some coins we're going to be down at, but a majority of things you should be somewhat level. The only coins you should be down at is probably the degens. The degen coins, the very low caps, they normally pump when we get back into extreme greed because people like to take extra risk when extreme greed is there. When there's uncertainty, the low caps are going to be a little bit more, on the shit side. But they come back when we get back into extreme greed, just like it did previously. When it was in extreme greed, the low caps normally pumped pretty well. John Powell, aka G, your thoughts on order? It got a listing and is also now on base chain. I don't really give a shit about Kraken listings because Kraken's a shit exchange. I'll be honest. It's a tier one, but I've never seen anyone have good volume on Kraken, bro. So might get listed on there, but is there any, does anyone give a shit? I don't think so, bro. Hippo got listed on Kraken as well. Just caused the biggest pump and dump ever. Now, this is what people don't realize, that exchange listings are fucking useless, bro. Like, look at Hippo. This is what happened to Hippo, Sudang, right? This is one of the degen coins I was trading. Last 7 days, look what happened. Caused this massive wick. On next year, went a lot higher on the news and just came straight back down. Like, just never happened. It went to like 0.04 and then wick straight down. So it makes you, like, these listings are good for quick pump, and then people just don't give a shit about exchange listings anymore. Exchange listings are not the same as they were in the previous cycle, and the reason is because they just do too much. They do too much, and it's just, people just trade it. That's it. People don't give it. No one wants to hold it. Good VCs: Amber, Marina, Gate. Oh, LogX. They partner with LogX. So DEX builders, aggregators, wallets, custodials, trading bots, games and dApps. Yeah, this has quite a lot of use cases. Yeah, it looks pretty good, this does actually. It has various different use cases, good partners, good VCs behind it. Doxed, well, team's not really doxed. But they do have some very good VCs behind them though. It's not bad overall though, to be honest. It's not bad at all. 21 million market cap, decent volume. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's just DeFi is so dead. I just don't even want to put money there. That's the only thing. But it looks good though. Nah, it is, yeah. Nah is very good. Phenomenal project. Like, that's one of the best low cap AI coins, I think, in my opinion. Because you look at Nai, they have a bunch of KOLs, so it's one of the fast movers. And this is what I do. I hold some fast moving coins, and I hold some ones that are a little bit steady but way more secure. But Nai is one of the fast movers. It will do very well. Is Subquery Network good to invest? Because it's being told that Subquery Network 5 times faster than Graph. Bro, no one gives a shit about speed anymore, bro. I'll be honest with you. Every single project in the space claims to be fastest and all this bullshit. No one gives a shit, bro. Like, speed does not matter anymore. This is not 2020, bro. What people want to see is an ecosystem, and they want to see people that actually build on you. You can claim to be the fucking fastest guy in the world. If it's never been proven, who the fuck gives a shit? Because you've never had, any projects actually build on you and to verify it. So in this Subquery Network is saying no, I've never seen anyone build on Subquery Network. Never. So even it's 5 times faster than Graph. Graph is shit anyway, so that's already a bad comparison. And it's not like Graph is some phenomenal project. Graph is shit. It's an old project. No one gives a shit about it anymore. So even if it's 10 times faster than Graph, does not make it any better. So that's look. When people compare speeds, it's never a good thing, because the reality is there's, Tectum claims to be can run 3.5 million TPS. Look at the price action of that. So speed clearly does. No one gives a shit about speed. Second of all, this shit has unlimited supply. It's already a red flag. So even if this claims to be 5 times faster than Graph, does it matter? It does not matter, bro. Deepin for data and RPCs and AI. So narrative is good. Deepin narrative. I think once Deepin wakes up, this will do well. Delegate. Website is a bit fucking ass though, I'll be honest with you, bro. Everything else, build, learn, and yeah, look, this is more relied on Deepin. So when Deepin wakes up, this is definitely going to be one you can trade. But as an investment, and your thesis is that is because it's faster than Graph is a good investment. It's not a good one, because there's other projects that's a lot way faster than Graph, like 10, 20 times faster. Look at that price. Look at Tectum. Tectum's 3.5 million TPS. That's proven and has a mainnet now. I've never seen anyone build on Tectum yet. There's another one that even claims to be 30 million TPS. I've never seen anyone build on them. So those useless, and the speed is not, what people think it is anymore. It's not. This is not last cycle, where people were throwing out buzzwords like the fastest blockchain in the world. People don't give a shit. C is now the fastest EVM in the crypto space. Look at the price action. No one gives a shit. So ecosystem plays a bigger role, and narratives play a bigger role this cycle. When the narrative, most things that are decent will pop. So what people don't realize, when AI agent narrative hit, most projects that was under category popped. Most. So it's not individual buzzwords, it's more narrative. And when the Deepin wakes up, Subquery will do work, not because it's fucking 5 times faster than Graph. It's because Deepin's doing well. That's it. Ross, my friend, very good to see you. Jobin, good to see you as well. Oh man, good to see you, bro. When AMA would, or it will be sometime this week, bro. Sometime this week. Good to see you, bro. Thoughts on Chirp? Which Chirp are you talking about? Chirply or the Deepin on Sui? It's not bad. I think Chirp is not a bad investment. But the thing is because it's pumped so much. I was actually gonna buy this shit, but I didn't. I missed out on it. But it's only 5 million. But would I buy this now? No, you'd be stupid to buy this now, bro. You're just gonna become exit liquidity. The thing is, this is all a manipulated chart. It's not pumped because they released some crazy bullish news. Most Solana most Sui coins dumped because they got hacked. This one didn't. And this is because it's been pumped by a community. So it's not a natural pump. So don't think this is a natural pump. This is, a lot of people get bullish when charts look like this, but they don't realize that this is being done because of a community. That's it. It's like I can go find some low cap, slap a buy alert on it, and it'll pump 2 to 3x. It's not because the project done something phenomenal. It's because I manipulated it. That's what's been happening with Chirp. And you can tell it's obvious. And the reason it's obvious is very simple. All the other Sui coins dumped because Sui got hacked. This one just been pumping. So it's not natural, is it? But as a project, as a degen project, it's not that bad. Because, look at the volume. Clearly shows there's not massive amount of volume for the mouse is pumped. 500k volume for how much is pumped does not make sense. This should have at least 1 million for the amount is pumped. So it's not natural. Just people just manipulating the charts. But it's a good project, maybe if it goes down 50, 60%, it might be worth. Look at this guy in the fucking chat, man. Do you plan to completely exit the market by August short term? Short the fuck out of it, still make money while everyone goes to shit. I am going to be shorting, yes, because I have actually been learning how to short. So yes, I am definitely going to be shorting the markets, bro. I've been trading a lot recently, bro. Trading is where you make money nowadays. Brick, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Hope you're doing very well. Do I think the Sui memes are gonna come back? It's hard to say because Sui is one of those projects that I think will always make a comeback. Whether the memes will make a comeback or not will depend on Sui. So because I think this Sui, setback is gonna, I think it will be here for like the next month or two, just because you have to think, right? Sui is already very high. It's not like it's at the bottom. It's already done very well. So how much more is it going to do? I don't think it's going to do crazy amounts. Maybe it'll do like another 3x max. And if Sui does another 2 to 3x, the whole ecosystem will pump. So yes, I think it will come back. Some gem mentioned in a private group like compute are looking good damn right now. Props to the guys in the group. I'm laughing with crypto set guys. What do you mean? Yeah, but people don't realize, bro, there's so many coins that I don't talk about on here where people in my group make 20, 10, 15 to 30 X's in that kind of month. Like Compute 8, this coin right here was called by my Solana guy. Was it Comp 3, I think? I think it's Comp 3 on it. Compute 3. This one right here, right, it's up 27% today. This was called under a million. It was called under a million when it first came out. Over here is now sitting at 6. So it's done over a 10x. They done over a 10x in this very quickly. I don't come on here and talk about it. So it's stupid. It's like even Create, that one done today. We traded this. Look at this. We got this at like down here, 200K. It went to a million. That's another 3-4x. So all these degen coins that we trade, I don't put them or I don't talk about them because they're degen. Talking about fucking small petty gains like 2, 3, 4x, though people make that every single day in my group. So I don't know what this guy's talking about. But Compute 3, that's up from the lows about 20x because we did a 10x on that initially, and since then it just got listed on Mexi today, so it's been only going higher. We got this at like 200-300K market cap. You guys do the math. That's over 20x. Down here, this is when we got it. It's now sitting at 6 million. At the high, it's 7 million. That's over 20x. Create, that's a 4x, 5x in the space of a day. So I don't know why you mean my share people are outperforming my picks. That's not true, bro. My picks are bricking, which is up 3x. My picks are ATR still pumped. Sensei is still up for my entry. Most of my coins are still up. The thing is, none of my coins have rugged. This is what people don't realize. I've never called a rug. They've not even gone close to rugged. Hive Intelligence. I've never heard of it. I saw they partner with Sensei. Oh, if it's not, I don't know. Actually, it depends. I don't really look into the partnerships of the projects, so I don't really pay attention to them. Even if they're rugs, it's not really going to affect Sensei itself. It's like Sensei partnered with Hive because Hive is using Sensei's technology. So I don't think it's a rug. Clearly not a rug. It has 1 million volume, which is quite good. I don't think it's a rug, my friend. No, doesn't look like a rug. It looks like it launched and just did shit off launch like most projects do, and is now slowly picking back up. So I don't think it's a rug. No, I think even fucking Nice partner or did a partnership with these guys. I want to invest. This guy is retarded. What is this? My chat got deleted multiple times. I think it was regarding me requesting. What is that? What is it? AVL. So good volume though. It looks like a DeFi coin. I see finance in the website. Powering Bitcoin on-chain capital markets. Oh, this is one of those. Okay. So the capital market things is the new narrative. And, if you guys listen to me, Cola recently expanded to the capital narrative market and he pumped 9x. And I got into this. I was telling people to buy this down here. And he done a 9x. So, the capital market currently is the new, it's like capital markets, right? Is basically the equivalent to a pump fund, is meme coin version of fucking Solana. It's like another buzzword for meme coins on Solana with a little bit of utility. It's like another pump fund. It's like all the capital markets is like, oh, we raise the money for businesses, for the people, all that bullshit. But in reality, it's just another meme coin launcher like pump fund. So, I don't really think it's going to be a narrative that's going to last long. But this one's been doing it on Bitcoin now, has decent backers, and could do well if this narrative continues. But ultimately, it's just another DeFi on Bitcoin. So it's just another BRC20 token. And I'm not a fan of BRC20. So I don't want to. I don't really want to. I don't want to invest into this narrative. I don't think it's a strong narrative, my friend. So I would stay away from it. Yeah, Syrup's TVL is ridiculous. I think Syrup has the highest TVL in crypto. Based AI, I've only traded based AI, never really fucking wanted to hold it just because it was just a trade. But TEP, I'm not gonna fucking get rid of it, just because I think it will come back with a narrative. But based AI, I've never ever really held it. I only traded it during the AI agent hype, and that's about it. But it was a good project at one point. But it's one of those where the team will just come out and release some massive random bullish news and then it will just pump again. That's what it is. But it's just a retarded team. You can't really do nothing against those. Went to Bob and asked, yo, they fucked me up, bro. Yeah, I told people Blender was a fucking scam a long time ago, bro. It's basically a clear rug pool, and anyone, I think fucking Gaines was still shilling this shit as a clear rug pool. That's bad, bro. I told people a long time ago this project is useless. Like when it was up here, bro. I told them it's useless. Back in 2024, I told people many, many times, do not get into this project. It's fucking useless. And then boom. Yeah, Nyan Heroes also rugged indeed. That's true. They also rugged. Bro, what the fuck? T13, good to see you, bro. Lex, good to see you as well. What happened to the freehold wallet on Rio? It should have been released in Q1. Where is it? No news at all. I think they're in the works of making it. They've released the other bullshit stuff. What's it called? What was it called? That metaverse bullshit, bro. Buying land in the metaverse, whatever the fuck. They released that shit, but their freehold wallet is still in the making. And I know because I don't know why it's taking them so long, but I think that's what's gonna push Rio, anyways. Quai, what's my thoughts? Quai is not a bad project overall. I would say it's not bad. One solid project that's lagging is Atlas Navi. Atlas Navi is not lagging; it's the narrative lagging, my friend. It's the narrative lagging. CZ talked about a storage. What about Binance listing? I did ask. Oh, I'm gonna ask that on the question. I don't know. Storage will come back. I do think though, and O is the storage provider for the BNB chain, so that's good. I heard they're going to delay until September. It's not bad. Considering rotating my Natic profits into something else. Do it, bro. I don't really think Natic is one of those that's going to continue to pump. The reason it pumped was because it got listed on, but just look at a Natic chart. does not look like the best chart. Like one pump and dump. I think this will be a second pump and dump. And the reason is because they're just going to continue to unlock every single day. For the next God knows how many months, maybe for like another 10 months. So in the short term, it's been doing well, but is it going to be sustainable? I don't really think so, simply because the Deepin narrative is not really doing that well. Once you see coins like Ionet and Aether and all these other ones start to put in like 5 to 10x's, then that is a good catalyst, to actually get into Deepin, or at least, everything else in the short term, Deepin wise, I don't think is going to be sustainable. So yeah. Any news on Statex? Statex is launching next month. All the news is in the group. I don't know if you're still in my group or not, Lavar, but it's in the group. So what's the next? What's the next move for alts? What about summer correction? Summer correction is not always gonna happen, bro. Like people don't realize, right? That summer correction thing is not always a case. It's like it's good in pre-halving, but after the halving and in the final phase, you don't want to be taking that risk. There's no point. Like have cash on the side, like I always say, and then just wait. Not rocket science. Didn't get into Statex pre-sale. Should I buy straight away or launch, or you think it will go down first? If you didn't get in the pre-sale, then just wait off launch, my friend. Don't think there's any point. Pump the likes up. Good to see you, Cash. Chris, my friend, very good to see you. What do I think about Chirply? I think it's okay to hold as a degen. I think if you look, Chirply, one of the main reasons I still hold my bag, I made 30x on this anyways, so this done very well for me. But one of the main reasons I hold this is because it tends to pump every time the market gets bullish. Number one. Number two, it's the only good coin I see on C. So these guys are integrated with C, meaning that they are on the C chain. So when C does well, and people look for a coin on C, that's what Chirply will come in. That's one of the main reasons I hold it. I do think Beam will do well. Yes. The AITECH, the time has come. June will be. I think so. Yeah, 100% agree. The buybacks are almost done though. They got like 200k left. Any spots left in private group with huge demand due to bear market as well? I think so. Yeah, it will definitely. Yeah, there is spots in the private group. Just use that Ko-fi link or the WAP link in the description. Sensei looks primed. It will be primed because they have. Sensei has an AMA in like this. I think it's in 2 days. Like one of those big AMAs where they showcase their product. But this was up like almost 3x from the lows. And then now it's had a little correction, and it looks like it wants to go higher. Chirp is good on the back of the C, being on the C chain. So yeah, there is room in the private group, bro. It's all in the description. You can either join through the Ko-fi link or through the WAP link. It's up to you. Leah and Edwin, good AI agents, crypto shilling. Leah looks good, yes. I actually traded Leah, made like a 4-5x during the AI agent hype. Edwin, I have not traded it, but I know what it is though. It's a DeFi AI coin. But Leah, I traded. There's a bunch of agents I traded, but I just don't need to talk about them. Natics, yeah, Natics has been doing very well. It's been doing well because it got listed on the I think it got listed on some Deepin earning shit. So they joined the list. Yeah, so I think they make like apparently 100k, a couple 100k a year. It's not bad. Any project earning revenue is good. Yes, I do think so. Yeah. What do you think about Lumos? Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Came out in Jan West time, so don't want to judge it off that alone. Over 10x dilution, or no, just under 10x dilution, not the best. Modular compute layer for AI, ZK, and more. OKX Ventures, Coinbase Ventures, kucoin Ventures. So decent backends, leading modular computing protocol, AI agents, AI compute, roll-ups. Yeah, the use cases there, definitely. So they do MCPs as well, which is good. MCPs is kind of the new thing for AI agents. Yeah, I think this is doing very well. It doesn't look that bad as a project though. Let me see if the team's doxed. First glance, it looks pretty good. I don't think the team is doxed, is it? Yeah, team's not doxed. I don't like projects without doxed teams, but it seems to have some decent backers. They got AI agents, decentralized AI as well. Looks decent. Looks decent, my friend. I'll have to just look at the vesting schedule. If it's good, then I'll just have a look for you quickly, bro. Lumos. It doesn't even tell you, bro. I can't really look into it without the vesting, which is annoying. Thoughts on CETAs? Can it come back? Just tweeted. They said they recovered the full amount. Yeah, that's good. Then that's bullish. They've recovered the full amount. I don't think they recovered the full amount. It's bullshit. But what they did was, I think what they done was, I think they just raised money, bro. Like the reality is, they're not going to retrieve what's been hacked. You can't do that on the blockchain. What they could mean is, they could have. I don't think they've retrieved the full amount, bro. Unless they know who hacked it and knows the guy's personal information and where he lives and whatever bullshit. I don't think it's possible. The hacker took the money and he sold the SUI to buy ETH. So how can you retrieve that? Unless it's done on an exchange, and the exchange could freeze his account, but can the exchange take the money off them? That will be a problem on the SEX, wouldn't it? So yeah, Bluefin is good. Cookido is good. It's like an oracle for like all AI agents. So if you need any, if you basically need any information on AI agents, you can probably find it on Cookido. So yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. What market cap do you think Rio can hit a peak realistically? I think Rio will probably hit between $3 to $5. So I think it will reach its all-time highs and possibly go slightly higher once they shit is live. Like, what you need to understand, Rio will only do well based on the free wallet, because the free wallet is basically the concept of anyone can tokenize anything without any middleman. And I look at it as like the pump fund version of tokenization. So if anyone can tokenize anything, the platform will get used. And that's why I think it can do very well. Flux, seen Flux show love. Yeah, Flux shows a lot of love to. I don't know why, but they do. Appreciate that, Mugen. Done very well. Appreciate that. Yeah, hit the likes, guys. Smash the likes. Look, macro side looking good. BTC doing okay. It's having a little shit in the short term, but all of these is temporary. It doesn't matter. ETH BTC is looking very strong at the current phase. You guys can see. Oh shit, it's on the weekly. Go on the daily. Go on the day chart. It has broken out. You can see for yourself, my friend. So that is a positive sign. Broke out, been doing well. It's gonna be the private member, soon to be a private member. Join the private group, but it's up to you. I don't really shit it as much. I don't really want to talk about it too much, just because I don't really have a lot of spaces left, anyways. I just cap mine at 300. I think right now I have like 260 something. So I get people in, but I want people to actually provide some value when they come in. That's the whole point. I mean, people don't realize, like, the reason I don't talk about all these gains all the time. Like, bro, people in my private group make stupid money every day. Like I said, on compute alone, and I only launched like a couple of weeks ago. They made 20x on that. I don't talk about it because I don't need to talk about it. I don't want too many people joining my private group. Like, even Create today, this one done like I think it done like pretty much a 5x clean in the space of a day. So, this is like and even Cola, Cole had done a 9x from when I told people to buy it. Griff done a 4x. All this shit, I just don't like talking about it because there's no point. But see, this one, we got in here, there's a lot of FUD, came out, FUD got diminished. They done AMAs, like they done consistent AMAs every day, and it pumped to like 1 million. So if you got in from down here at 116, that's basically 155 million. Just below 200 million at the peak, you would have been up around 8 to 10x. Well, let's say between 6 to 8x, and that's all in 1 day's work. So there's a lot of benefits. I just don't like coming on here and boasting about what the private group makes, because we do leverage trading. Like if I show you guys some of the leverage trading people do in there, you'll actually be shocked. I have some very good TA guys in there that do very well in leverage trading as well. Still sitting on a lot of cash. Any good high caps for 3 to 5x? 3 to 5x. Well, there's so many projects that'll give you a 3 to 5x. But Ondo will give you a 3 to 5x. C will give you a 3 to 5x. And this is one that has not pumped too much, and it has the potential to do very well. If it just reaches all-time highs from price-wise, that's already over 3x. So 3x there, 3x on Ondo. You can get 3x on IONET. This is another good one, IO. You can get 3x on AFA, another good one. A lot of projects that can give you so even this can give you a 3x, bro. Far for fucking $500 million is quite high. Is it AI? You want AI coins? Get into Cookie Dough is good, but wait for Cookie to have some sort of correction because it's up a little bit. This will give you a 3x. Tau will give you a 3x. Tau will give you a 3x. Even Virtuals, I think, will give you actually. What the fuck? Virtuals 1.6 billion now. Damn. Just get the high cap AI coins, bro. That will give you a 3 to 5x. Just put like 2x leverage on them. All you need is a 1.5x, and you get that shit back. Scrub, good to see. Complete, good to see as well. Bluefin, grow up. Yeah. So, bro, this is the crazy thing, right? When what's it called? When fucking Cetus got hacked, fucking Bluefin pumped while Cetus got hacked. So you guys can see, on that news alone, this shit pumped. Look at this. Cetus got hacked, and then Bluefin fucking rallied like 40-50%. Yeah, even AITECH BT will give you a 3x, agreed. Bro, you can get any shit for 3x, bro. It's not even that fucking. It's not that hard to get 3x. I don't even need to do. Do I do pre-sales? Yeah, I do pre-sales. Yeah, I got into pre-sale not too long ago, or private sale, you could say. I do pre-sales. Yeah, I don't do them as much now, but I'm gonna do a lot more in the private in the bear market, because doing them now is kind of pointless unless it's like a long-term budget. But the reality is, doing any pre-sale now is not really worth, unless it's like a good project that is low cap and can just go parabolic off launch, which is why I found a decent one. How many X's? Yeah, so for OTK, even if it gets back to his all-time highs, I think it reached about 30 million, and that's like a 10x from back to his all-time highs. Yeah, so at the peak it reached 30 million. So if he reaches back his all-time highs from the current price, it will give you just over a 10x. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, but just DM me on Telegram, my friend. DM me on my Telegram group. You can do, yeah. I don't really like doing crypto because I got to chase people up. That's the only thing. But yeah, you can do if you want. When Bricken becomes deflationary through hyperinflated staking on Sensei nodes, those all will qualify as non-fungible stablecoin. What the fuck is this guy on about? What? Qualify as a non-fungible stable altcoin layer 0 aggregator. The hell's this? What the fuck am I hearing? Surf got a lot of attention recently. OpenSurf for 3x, even ETH is. I don't think ETH would do a 3x, but that's a bit far fetched. I don't think ETH would do a 3x. It's possible, but it's not guaranteed. Yeah, I would not go for ETH for 3x. Just get like a fucking high cap. Do I not like Delicium? I still hold my Delicium, yeah, and I do like it because Delicium is building swarm agents. So I still like my Delicium, yeah. I still hold my Delicium. I'm not gonna sell it because it will at least reach near its all-time high again. So it's kind of pointless to sell it. I have not sold it, no. I have not sold it. I just don't put like some projects that has not been doing well, and TET is one of them. So I just don't like to, I'm not gonna sell something at a loss, as if the team is still there. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, ETH just looks like it wants to break out, and a lot of people are actually been accumulating ETH heavy. Even today, ETH is up 4%, while BTC is up 0.37. So, and it's doing very well. Look, he's got eventually once rejected, twice rejected, 3 times, 4 times rejected. Eventually, it will break past this 50-day moving average or 200-day moving average. Once it breaks the 200-day moving average, it will look good. Like ETH will be looking good. So that's what we need to wait for. Thomas, I appreciate that, my friend. Could this be Altseason to be associated with? Yes, bro. Like ETH is basically the indicator for altcoin. Because when ETH does well, dominance comes down, which is what we're seeing now. Because ETH is up 4%. And altcoins by design pump because what people do, the degens do, is they either sell their BTC back into altcoins. And when dominance goes down, all the altcoins pump. USDT dominance looks like it is on the verge to break down again, anyways. So that's always a positive. What do I think about Offspec? I don't like the fact that they got hacked and then rebranded, but I'm just not a fan of this project overall. I'll be honest, it's not a fan. 1.7 million, fucking hell, 50k trading volume. This just looks like a dead project. The only way you're gonna get this shit to pump if Alex Becker talks about it. That's it. Yeah, if doing a 2x is reasonable, of course. But 3x is a bit far fetched. I think that's too bullish. But 5k for ETH, or 3.2k for ETH is possible. 5k, 5.5, 6k max. Anything more than that, fuck that. Yeah, but shoot over, like reality is right. Offspec, after he got hacked, is it gonna come back? Fuck knows. No one knows because Deepin is dead. I think once Deepin wakes up, if Offspec is still alive, it will pump. It's not more individual coin based; it's more narrative based. But in the short term, this is not gonna pump. You have to wait till Deepin wakes up. When you start seeing Ionet, Aether, Render, and all these other shit, pump, then you're gonna see Offspec and some other random Deepin coins pump as well. ETH is touching 10k. I wish, bro. If ETH touches 10k, I'll be very happy because I hold a lot of ETH myself. I don't know about ETH touching. It's possible. Is it probable? I don't know. For ETH to touch 10k, it would probably hit around. Yeah, it would have to hit around market cap wise close to $1 trillion, which would be fucking nuts. It'll probably be like 800 billion or 700 billion. That's what ETH. Actually, no, 10k would be over $1 trillion in market cap, which would be fucking crazy. But yeah, on that note, guys, I think we'll call it a day. 1.3 or 1 hour 30 minutes. So just to summarize, we are looking good on a macro perspective on this news alone. And go back, like I think it was 30 minutes onwards when I explained the macro side, why we could be looking bullish. This is another thing to look into as well, right? So Doge failed to reduce the deficit. Second signpost. I mean, this is a decent thesis. I think it's a decent, but is trying to predict the next 5 years is it's a little bit it's okay. It's just guesswork pretty much. But new spending bill estimated to increase by 33%, or increase deficit by 33% by 2027, which means is more spending. Government's going to do more spending. I mean, the reason Elon Musk left Doge was because he tried to cut spending, but they realized you cannot cut spending without collapsing the entire Ponzi scheme. So he tried, he cut by a bit, but the amount the deficit is at is like 2 trillion. For him to cut even half of that was almost impossible. He tried it and he couldn't do it. I think the most he done was like 100, 200 billion. That's how much he cut. But they have to keep spending. There's no other choice. This shit is going to collapse at some point. And I think Trump is just going to keep delaying it till someone else comes in and just, starts a whole new system, collapses this entire Ponzi scheme. But Doge, Elon came in, now he's full-time at Tesla back because he realized they can't cut. The government spending this big fucking machine cannot run without government spending. So unless they want to collapse the entire shit, which I don't think they do, they're going to increase the deficit by 2027 by 33%, which means they're going to keep printing more money because the deficit is based on the fact that GDP cannot meet what they printed, what they're spending. So, Besson said, we'll go GDP faster than the debt to stabilize GDP. This sounds good on paper, but the reality is it's not as easy as it seems. How do you go GDP? One, you can increase, the amount of people in a country. They could do that. That will take years. Number two, they can bring more immigrants in. That will therefore increase GDP. Number three, they could just keep printing more money because they can print GDP. And that's what most likely they will do. They will keep printing. They will increase the deficit. And of course, it will be inflationary, but they need inflation to devalue the currency. That's what it is. So it's a lot to wrap your head around, but keep spending, pass new laws, tweak reg to suppress long-term yields, boost nominal GDP, most likely inflation. Yep, debase the currency, which is what they're trying to do now. Bondholders and cash savers will lose in real time. And this is exactly what Besson said. Besson said, if you hold bonds pretty much, or you hold cash, you're going to lose. So you have to put your money in an asset that's going, because look at the bondholders now. Anyone holding bonds for the last 4 years has been losing nonstop. There's no winning in bonds because the inflation rate is higher than the amount you're getting on these fucking or the interest rate is higher. The inflation rate, is higher than the interest rate you're getting on these bonds. So if inflation is, I don't know what bonds these guys got for the last 4 years, but it was not above 3%. If inflation is higher than that, guess what happens? You lose out. And that's why bond holders have been losing nonstop. People that hold cash will lose anyways because there's a consistent deficit going on, which means your cash will lose value 10% every single year. So you have to find an asset that will outperform your cash being, losing value and will outperform the bondholders, which is obviously Bitcoin. And this is where a lot of smart investors will most likely go into Bitcoin. And this is why having a, 150K, close to 200K, I don't really want to hold for 200K, but let's say 130 to 150K is very possible for BTC because people are starting to realize this now, that if Besson is saying they're going to go GDP faster than the debt, how can they do that? I explained 3 reasons. All of them will result to more printing. All of that will lead to, the debt GDP getting worse. So why hold bond? Why are you buying debt? And why are you holding cash if they're going to keep bringing more into circulation? It does not make sense. So you hold these two, you're automatically going to lose. So if you hold cash in your bank accounts that's sitting there doing fuck all, put it into Bitcoin or some shit, put it into an asset that will survive the 10% and give you more than 10% a year. So this is for the serious investors, people that are serious. But everyone's like most people that watch my channel are just like, you hold a low cap altcoin trying to make some money short term. But there's people that have real life portfolios, crypto, stocks, gold, silver, materials, etc. And some of them even hold bond. So if you are holding bond, the reason people hold bond, like I said, is the most liquid market. That's why they hold it. Fiat worst tokenomics ever. But Fiat has unlimited supply, bro. Unlimited supply. It's like Ethereum. Max supply is unlimited. They can keep printing it nonstop. Since BTC has a lot of huge backers, do you think there will be a major high cap still falls 80%? Yeah, bro, listen, everything will fall at least 80% regardless. So if you fall into that trap of thinking that, oh yeah, there's a lot of institutions that is invested into Bitcoin now, it's not going to go down more than 50%, then you're just falling for the trap, in my opinion. The reality is, when the market goes to shits and we're in a recession, the people that's holding these are not fucking robots, they're humans. They will feel the emotions just like you will. The market makers will manipulate like they do every day. So, Bitcoin will go down and altcoins will all go down the same amount, well, minimum 80, 90% minimum. Some of them will go down 99.9%. And, when people say just because your altcoin go down 99%, it does not mean it can't go down another 99%. You understand that, when the bear market starts, your altcoin will go down 99% and an additional 99%. So keep that in mind. Sui XRP Solana. Yeah, of course they will, but all of them will go down. The people that's investing into them is not fucking robots, but they're humans. When everything goes down, they will all go down together, bro. There's no such thing as shit that's gonna hold better than other shit. Bundle piece of shit USD. G's even G's barber chopped a like. That's crazy. I think OTK needs more listings. No, it doesn't, bro. It's a fucking $2 million coin that's listed on KuCoin on a DEX, and next scene, that's all you need. You'll probably get one more anyways, but it does not need more. Only retards call for exchange listings, bro. Like, what did OTK's exchange listing do today? Let's be real for a second, right? What did OTK's exchange listing do today? All it did was pump it 20, 30%. That's it. It didn't make it 2x, and it didn't make it 3x, it didn't make it 10x. The exchange listings are not what they used to be. People need to get this in their head. It is not what they used to be. Even a tier one, like when AITECH gets on Binance, you guys are going to see for yourself. It'll pump maybe 80, 90%, maybe, maybe a 2x. But is that going to be sustainable? We don't know. I doubt it will. I'll definitely be around in the bear, yeah. Definitely, Broski. Definitely being around the bear. The bear's what the bear market is when the fun really starts. In reality, that's the bear market is, AITECH will print, yes. Do you think Bricken is built on decentralized blockchain of tokenized tokenomics? How many sensei or stake before liquidity flips inside out during a bullish? Bro, what the fuck is this retard on about, bro? It does, yeah. It definitely does, bro. Definitely does. AITECH some of the best marketers in the space. Like, the one thing about alt is at least it's not dumping, bro. That's the one thing that's positive. Yeah, but I don't like people just scream, "Oh, more listings," but the reality is they don't even know how much that shit costs, bro. It's expensive. I'll be out before Q4, bro. I'll be out before Q4. Trust me. I hold large bags across the board, so I don't need to hold for long. I'll be out before. Personally, I'll obviously leave moon bags across the board, but it all depends on your portfolio size. If you got millions, why do you need to hold for longer? It doesn't make sense. If you got 10K, 5K, 15K, 20K, then it's okay to hold a little bit longer. But even then, you don't need to get rich in one cycle. If you make from 20K, you make 100K, fucking hell, that's good money, bro. Like, why do you need to get 500K? It doesn't make sense. Get the 500K in the next cycle, the next bear market. Bear market is around the corner. It's like a year away. So why would you then try to play, the greedy road when after we get a collapse or whatever little fucking short-term recession, whatever we face in the next year and a half, you could then use your money to buy in that bear market and then make the life-changing money. It does not need to happen every single day. I will post them, but I'm not going to post them on individual coins. I'm just going to give them just daily reminders to DCA out, like weekly reminders, or like every other day. I'll just remind people to keep DCAing out. I don't want to. I'll definitely give on the high caps, on the high liquidity coins, because the market, they can absorb it. But on the very low caps, I'm not going to give sell alerts because people market sell and it just ruins the chart. So I don't really see the point of that. I would only do it like daily reminder of to keep DCAing out, because people oftentimes forget during the crazy phases, like the greed takes over and they forget to take profits. Good night, Ivo. Very good to see you, buddy. Enjoy. I'm gonna get off anyway. So, anyways, boys, smash the like. I'll see you guys in a few days, maybe tomorrow, maybe on Thursday, because I'm gonna try to sort out this AMA with Alt as soon as possible so we can get everything cleared there. I think that'll be a positive one. But on that note, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy tonight as well. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye.